short break, and then we'll see you back here for the Circle of 12. Welcome back, everyone, from the break. Lee and I were just discussing what a beautiful journey Geraldine took us on.
It really was excellent, and I couldn't have asked for anything better as an experience. The bowls are just great. She's been doing this a very long time, and she's got something else that we didn't get a chance to talk to there. We want to tell you about now. Monica?
Yes, for the last 4 years, Geraldine has been working on putting together an app, and it has 20 collaborators that she's worked with to produce this app. It's all about music as medicine, and I really encourage all of you to check out the app. It's called Sauce, the app. Now, don't let my Aussie accent fool you. It's not like cooking sauce.
It sounds like sauce when you say it.
I know it does.
So I will be on the real English side here. It's source. You can use an R. One. It's Source. When you go to search for it, it's on Android and Apple. It's Source.
Yeah, Source the app though. But honestly, check it out because there are some really beautiful offerings that are part of that app. And crystalcadence.com, that's the other website Geraldine has that I want to mention. Go and have a look at all of those different offerings that Geraldine has.
Well, it's time again to do our miracle moments. One of Monica and our favorite parts of the program, it really is. Because you can find the miracle moments section yourself in your membership portal where you can request prayers of help, benevolence for yourself, for somebody else. That's the way it works. Now, if you or somebody you know has had a miracle or close to a miracle or something you think is a miracle, we'd love for you to share it with us. We truly love hearing about all of those great things that happen. Sometimes a miracle, it can be just having peace over a situation that you haven't had before. That's a miracle. Maybe it's something has stopped you in your tracks and now it doesn't. That's a miracle. Or perhaps, indeed, a physical healing that you've had. All miracles or types of these kinds of things are worth celebrating, and that's what we do here. I'd like to ask Monica, again here, to share a miracle moment which has happened to one of our Circle of 12 members.
This miracle moment, it comes from Mary, and Mary says, I've hesitated to consider this a miracle because it could have happened anyway, but I'm prompted to send it in as it regards the green mist meditation. I have had a retinal occlusion in my left eye, treated by a specialist for almost 4 years now, without much improvement at all. I think it was the next night after listening to the green mist meditation that I was lying on my bed in a completely dark room. I was dreading my eye appointment a few days hence. Then I began to think of Saint Germain's healing with the violet flame, and I asked him if he could heal my eye. Just a few seconds later, the lamp on the bedside table turned on and lit up the room for just a few seconds, and then it turned off. It startled and surprised me. By the way, that lamp no longer works. A few days later, I kept my dreaded visit to the retina doctor, and as usual, I had all the tests done before seeing him. When I went into the room to see the doctor, he was smiling. He said that I had improved almost 50%. That was a very pleasing surprise. Does Kryon think Saint Germain made a visit, or could it have just been an unexplained happening? Whatever it is, I am very grateful for the healing meditation of the green mist. Thank you. What a beautiful sharing. I find that so powerful, Mary, and absolutely that was a miracle moment. Do not even question that. And I feel the energy of Kryon, Saint Germain, green mist energy, all of that was there for you. So let's harness that energy, that potent energy of Kryon, of Saint Germain, of the green mist. Let's pull all of that into us now as we send energy to those who are requesting prayers of help from us. And so I invite you to close your eyes and let us ask to invoke the green mist energy. Feel, sense, invite that green mist energy to come into you now. Invite that green mist energy to settle into that area of your heart. This is the heart chamber that resonates with love, with the energy of home, with compassion, with kindness. And as we feel those energies imbue into our heart space, into our heart energy area, let us send out an amplification of our love and compassion into a field of energy that is around us. And I invite you to really contemplate how many others are joining with you in this moment, generating their own field of coherence around them. And as that field around you expands further and further, we begin to merge with each other and create a field of coherence with each other. In this particular exercise, in this particular moment, there is a field of coherence that we have created that is so powerful. And we are going to invite all those requesting prayers of help from us to come and join us in this field of coherence. Know that their soul energy is already residing within this field of coherence, of love and compassion. And so let us visualize every soul coming into this field with us now and bathing in these energies, just like we bathed in the sounds of alchemy from Germain a moment ago. All of us are bathing in these energies of love, kindness, compassion, coherence. And then visualize these energies getting deposited back into the physical bodies of everyone whose soul we are connected with in this moment. And that would include every brother and sister on the planet right now. Just feel, sense, visualize those particles of love and benevolence being deposited into their physical bodies in this moment. And with that visualization of all persons in every direction, everywhere, receiving those particles of love, let us invite Kryon to come and take us on a journey into the circle of 12.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer and keep the energy of coherence. I invite you tonight to do something that is similar to what we've done before in the Circle of 12. But it's going to be enhanced tonight. The enhancement comes with you having been part of the revelation of the mystery of where souls go when they die. The channel was given earlier the information. They don't go anywhere. They stay. And if you had to say, where are they truly? It would have to be in your linearity, everywhere. That's where they go. But dear ones, there is something to be said for consciousness, compassion, intent, and love. between those that you have loved and lost, there is a coherence. And that coherence comes from many sources, including that which is your Akash, that which is before you got here on the other side of the veil, just in arrangements you made. There is so much more to a relationship from soul to soul than you know. Have you ever met somebody and says, I know there's a soul connection here? Perhaps I've had a friendship with them before. I feel I've spent a lifetime with them. You probably did. This is the kind of relationship we speak of. Take my hand, let's go across the bridge right now. The journey is the same as it has been ever since we started. You go across this bridge truly from something you understand and know to something you really don't understand and don't know. Not right now. Across the bridge and across that mist that obfuscates what's next, you come into a beautiful area. And I invite you to do something that is difficult. Remember what you don't know. How can I do that, Kryon? How can I remember what I don't know? Why don't you try? Because when you start to say, have I been here before? What is it that I should know? Is this a familiar place? Your body starts to react and answer you and say, this is home. You're not supposed to remember it, but at the cellular level, you do. Not in your brain, but it's in your DNA. This is your soul energy, dear ones. It's peaceful here. I want you to relax here. I want you to know it's a safe place where nothing can touch you here. There is no negativity here. And if you feel there is, dear ones, you brought it with you across the bridge. Did you hear that? For any of you who feel that this place doesn't suit you, you brought it with you. Doubts, fears, all of the things that you were programmed into thinking you are now experiencing. If you doubt very much that this is a safe place, a magnificent place filled with love. I want you to take this magnificence and go into a large room through a door, a very large room. The room is large, but what is in the middle of it is not so large. It's just a few chairs. There is no table. It's like a round table without the table. A few chairs. And they're in a circle. You're going to sit in one of them, dear ones. I'm going to invite you to do that right now. Some of you know what's coming. Some months ago, we took you to a theater. And in that theater, we invited you to place in your imagination all those you've loved and lost this lifetime. And in the audience, they were there, and we told you that they would stand up and they would talk to you. And you could interface with them. And in one case, we actually had them with the ability to hug you and say perhaps a goodbye that they never said before. But this one is different. I'll tell you what's going to happen now. It's going to take everything you have to visualize this. And here is the reason. I would like to reveal the biggest untruth, lie, if you wish, that has ever been given to you as a human being. Let's call it the biggest deception that humans have ever given to humans. And here it is. that when a soul dies, they're gone. Why would you be given this information? Why indeed? When the opposite is true, and we're going to experience that in a moment, and I gave you the information, why would you ever be told over and over from organization after organization that when your loved ones are gone, they're gone? And the reason for that is obvious. It's very human, dear ones. Because after that soul is gone from earth, then it gets a chance to be punished. Are you following the trend of humanism? Giving you that which is not true and never has been. This beautiful, loving God who gave you the soul is not going to have you return home and then punish you for something you did on earth. That, dear one, is an earth story. It's a human story. It's a deception to bring you into line. That is a truth. I don't think I've ever spoken it this clearly to you. Do you understand it? Here is the truth. Everyone you've loved and lost is still here. Still here. They're not here the way they were, but they are here. Here. And there would be those who then deal with the minutiae and say, well, Kryon, when you say here, which side of the veil is it? I'm talking about everywhere here. Here for me, here for you. A consciousness that is everywhere. How does that feel to you? Small circle of chairs you have. You're sitting in one of them. How many have you loved and lost? How many went too soon? Am I touching some truths here? Well, here they come. And they're coming from a place in this big room, the edges, you can't see it. Might even be another dimension. It doesn't matter, but they're walking now toward the chairs. They're walking toward the chairs. And some will say, well, you know, they couldn't walk when they passed. That's because the visualization we're asking you to have is every single one of them strong, healthy, smiling, and they're coming to sit in those chairs. And they start to take a seat, and it's a little difficult because the chairs have to be pulled out from one another, because when they are fully seated, they touch each other. It's a fairly small circle. And you are looking into the eyes of a smiling group. Some of them know each other, some of them don't. Most of them are relatives, not just friends. Some of them are partners. It doesn't matter. All of them know each other through compassion and through love. And they have expected you tonight. They've expected you tonight. The next thing I want you to do is reach out your hands. Reach out your hands. Because they're going to do the same thing. And they're all going to join hands in this circle, all touching you. And as they take your hands, they will start speaking. And it will be something that happens all together, but something you can understand as though it were linear, one at a time. And they will talk about the lives you spent together. They will talk about perhaps the one who left too soon, or the two who left too soon, or even more. And they will talk about the reasoning perhaps for it. But they're family all, and they're here now. Dear ones, this is as real as it gets, if you wish for it to be, because this is the truth. I am showing you a truth, a real truth, not something that you can simply visualize. No. This is you with those you loved and lost, looking into their eyes and speaking of the times you've had together. Then they all look at you and collectively say, you will indeed have your turn as well to be in this circle in a different way. We will greet those who mourn you on the earth. And as they awaken and give permission, you can sit on our side and hold their hand and tell them how much they are loved even today. This is the definition of family. And this is who you have inside you, O majestic one called human being. This is you. Does it get any more magnificent than this? Stay a while, will you? You can come here anytime you want. Anytime you want. As real as it gets. Thank you for allowing something so magnificent. And so it is. Have that too.
Absolutely. I think it's part of us evolving beyond the linear. Because Kryon even said the language as you give it is very linear. And this is why music has, imagine you're trying to give in language one word at a time.
Yeah.
And in music, that would be like giving just the violin and then just the piano.
You're right.
But
absolutely
when
right.
you have the symphony coming together, it's everything all at once and it produces the most beautiful sounds.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think music is probably the most profound language.
Yeah.
What I like about music is that it needs no translation from country to country to country.
Yeah.
I was always thinking about that because when Robert Coxon would be with us, or Anders Holte, and they'd have this wonderful stable of music that they would do almost every time. Mm-hmm. And I got envious. I said, you guys can play the same music every time and everybody will weep and fall over, and we have to come up with new things. But it's just such an amazing thing, the whole idea of languages and the kind of things, and music is definitely one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I know that Lee has so many music stories. We're going to share that with you in another one of these episodes because we're going to run out of time in this episode.
Can I just one thing on this one?
Sure.
Can you tell we don't rehearse this?
It's your show. You have permission.
Well, we started with talking about those who translate for us, especially in Europe.
Yeah.
We have wonderful translators, but a couple of them go into not just translating the language, but also the emotion. And so when, for instance, Kryon will say, come closer, you'll hear that in their language. They'll translate, come closer, into their language. So it is beautiful what some of these people can do. Well,
I think it would be fair to say that all the translators, when they are translating Kryon, in a sense, they're channeling.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
These are stories that we never tell anybody. There's no real reason to. It haven't been until we started streaming. Now we realize that this 10 minutes or so in the beginning is a time for we to share as though we were in your living room, and we hope you feel that same thing. You know
what, Lee?
Yeah.
I think, hey, if you don't feel you're invited into our living room or it's not comfortable, the beautiful thing is in a replay, just fast forward. We don't care.
Now, you didn't have to say that. I don't want them to fast forward.
I know you don't, but some of them will.
I know.
So,
okay.
And that's fine. We still love you.
All right. Well, on that note, which I think is a B flat.
Yeah, maybe.
we should go on to the next section.
We should. Right. That's what people are here for.
That's
to
right.
Come and get information from Kryon and be in the circle of 12. So, with that being said, let's do a short meditation to prepare ourselves to receive the message from Kryon. And it's as simple as this. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And focus on the area of your heart. Your heart has emotional intelligence. And your heart knows what you wish to do, which is to relax. Find the center of your being. The center of your being is always in a state of peace. Being peace, tranquil, and calm is your natural state of being. And this meditation is to remind you of that natural state of being that is innately yours. And as we connect with our center, we feel the eternal peace because it's connected with our eternal soul. And in gratitude and love, let us now continue to receive the messages from the loving entourage of Kryon that is coming through the veil in a third language being delivered to you.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. Each time that my partner brings me to this place, in this, which is a place where many observe, it's different. This is a healing program. And yet it's also a platform to discuss so much that is magnificent about the human being. And so you're going to hear a various array, you might say, of subjects, but they're all going to center on you. We've spoken about the times that you're in. And that will play into this channel a little bit. Because you wonder, is all of this random? This being your existence here, the systems that put you here, past lives, if you believe that? And coming to this planet at this time to experience this, there are many who would say, well, it's too bad I had to be this time, without understanding. This is an appointment you made. You wouldn't have had it any other way. It brings up the whole question of how much control you have over what happens to you. And I don't mean here, because we have discussed that many times, dear ones. We've discussed a reality that you have that is indeed one that you choose, one that you direct. We have told you many, many times that how your consciousness sees the world is how the world becomes for you. This is very difficult for many who say, I see. You mean that I'm not going to step out and have the chance of being run over by a truck like everyone else? And the answer is, you're right, you won't, because your consciousness won't put you in that situation. We have discussed that very thing. Can consciousness field those kinds of issues? And the answer is yes. And we say field those kinds of issues because you are dealing with something called the field. Fielding something means to work with it. You work with the reality so you be in the right place at the right time. Your consciousness, if it's high enough, will direct you there. This is you controlling your own reality, but it's far, far greater than that. That's while you're here. Are there systems, you might ask, that would put you in other places where you have a say about esoteric things? And what would those things be, you might ask? And the answer is everything. How esoteric would